When a Sigma male loses control, it's an event that few people ever witness, but it's one that leaves a lasting impact. Sigma males, known for their calm demeanor, unshakable self-control, and independence, rarely let emotions dictate their actions. Their entire life philosophy revolves around maintaining composure and staying true to their own path, making their loss of control an extraordinary and often intense shift. Unlike the explosive reactions of others, when a Sigma male loses his cool, it's not just a fleeting outburst, it's a seismic event that signals a deeper break in his usually unflappable nature. These men are masters of emotional regulation, and when that control slips, it's a direct result of something that's crossed a line far beyond what most people can comprehend. Whether it's betrayal, manipulation, or a deep sense of disrespect, the Sigma male's response is one of raw, focused intensity. He won't waste time on drama or empty threats when he's pushed too far. He simply exits, often without warning or explanation. This sudden withdrawal or shift in behavior is his way of reasserting dominance over his own life and energy. Sigma males don't lose control often, but when they do, it's a reminder of just how much power they possess when fully unleashed. Are you feeling like just a roommate in your own home? At the Dominance Academy, they help men boost passion, reclaim respect, and restore their power in relationships. Step into your strength and transform your intimate life. Join the Dominance Academy, where Sigma men rediscover leadership and connection. Go to the link in the description. Number 1. The internal tsunami of control rebellion. When a Sigma male reaches his breaking point, an intense internal rebellion erupts, challenging his tightly held self-control. For him, maintaining control isn't just a preference, it's his very core. It's what allows him to move through life undisturbed, unaffected by the typical pressures that cause others to falter. But when pushed too far, that control can buckle under the weight of suppressed emotions, leading to an internal tsunami. The calm exterior he has so carefully curated starts to unravel, and emotions that were once buried deep, resentment, frustration, anger surface, demanding attention. It's not an outward eruption. There are no explosive outbursts or reckless displays of anger. Instead, it's an implosion, a silent yet profound breakdown of his inner structure. He watches as his rational mind battles with the flood of emotions, struggling to maintain the order he's always relied on. This moment of inner turmoil is a tipping point. It forces the Sigma to confront parts of himself he's long avoided, questioning his identity and the limits of his self-control. In the end, it marks a transformative moment. His response to this rebellion will either shift his outlook on life or redefine how he maintains autonomy in the face of overwhelming emotions. Number 2. The silent storm of calculated revenge. When a Sigma male is pushed too far, his response is neither emotional nor impulsive. Instead, it's a silent storm, calm, calculated, and devastating. Revenge for a Sigma is not about rage or aggression. It's about restoring his balance and regaining his power. He's not interested in dramatic confrontations or public displays of anger. Rather, he quietly assesses the situation, carefully observing every angle, waiting for the perfect moment to act. His response is measured, often subtle, and always aligned with his principles. This is a strategic dismantling, one that goes unnoticed until the consequences hit. Whether it's withdrawing his support from a project, revealing truths others tried to suppress, or quietly undermining a situation from within, the Sigma's revenge is a precision strike. It's never done for attention or validation, but to reassert control over his environment and eliminate whatever crossed his boundaries. People are often unaware of the calculated moves he's made until it's too late. Once the damage is done, the Sigma moves on, leaving no trace of anger behind, only a restored sense of order. For him, this is less about getting even and more about reinforcing his autonomy, ensuring no one will disrupt his equilibrium again. Number 3. The inevitable endgame approach. When a Sigma male reaches his breaking point, he often shifts from managing immediate concerns to focusing entirely on his long-term vision. No longer interested in short-term fixes or fleeting distractions, he begins to assess everything through the lens of his endgame. His patience for incremental change evaporates, replaced by a single-minded drive to achieve his larger goal. In this state, the Sigma prioritizes nothing but his vision, leaving behind whatever doesn't serve his purpose. Relationships, social expectations, and even immediate desires become secondary, as he views everything through a strategic lens, always asking how each decision moves him closer to his ultimate objective. This level of focus can make him seem ruthless to others, as he sheds anything that could derail his progress, but to him, it's simply about pursuing a greater goal. People and situations that once held significance are now seen as either assets or distractions. The Sigma male becomes less available emotionally, more calculated in his actions, and increasingly detached from anything that doesn't contribute to his endgame. His world becomes one of strategy, and his single-minded commitment to achieving his goals leaves little room for anything else. Number 4. The ice-cold persona. At his breaking point, a Sigma male may transform into a figure of utter emotional detachment. Those who once felt close to him might find themselves facing a wall of coldness and unwavering rationality. This shift is not accidental, it's a deliberate choice, a form of self-protection against further emotional turmoil or betrayal. The Sigma male, who typically offers limited access to his inner world, now closes that door completely. Every interaction becomes calculated, every response carefully measured, and every boundary more fortified. He no longer entertains emotional appeals or seeks to comfort those around him. Logic and reason become his only armor, and his demeanor shifts from engaged and approachable to distant and unyielding. This transformation is often jarring for those who were once in his inner circle, but for the Sigma, it's a necessary shield. He views emotional engagement as a potential vulnerability, something that could be used against him. The ice-cold persona protects him from the chaos of the world and allows him to reclaim his peace. Those around him may feel shut out, but for the Sigma, this coldness represents control, autonomy, and the emotional clarity he needs to stay true to himself without the distractions of others' expectations. Number 5. The refusal to justify himself. A Sigma male's breaking point is often marked by a profound refusal to justify his actions to anyone. What once might have been an attempt to explain his choices or seek approval now becomes an unnecessary burden. The Sigma no longer feels the need to seek validation from others. He's reached a place of self-assurance that makes the opinions of others irrelevant, even burdensome. His life and values are now entirely his own, and he acts according to his own principles without concern for external judgment. This newfound freedom can be liberating but also isolating, as the Sigma stops adjusting himself to meet others' expectations. People who once expected explanations or attempts at reconciliation find that they're no longer needed. The Sigma listens less, engages less, and offers no defense when his choices are questioned. To him, this shift represents a reclaiming of his autonomy. He no longer needs to justify himself because he knows who he is and what he stands for. It's not arrogance or indifference, it's a declaration that he is enough as he is. This rejection of the need for validation leaves the Sigma more impenetrable, more self-contained, and far less concerned with the opinions of those around him. Number 6. The strategic withdrawal to regroup. When a Sigma male reaches his breaking point, his first instinct is to withdraw into solitude, not for rest or escape, but to regroup and recalibrate. During this period, he doesn't seek sympathy or external comfort. Instead, he dissects every aspect of his life with ruthless precision. This retreat is a form of intense introspection, where the Sigma reevaluates his actions, relationships, and goals. He examines the cracks in his foundation, the weaknesses he's overlooked, and confronts any self-deception. This process is not about healing, it's about understanding and strengthening his sense of self. He isolates himself to gain clarity, to refine his principles, and to realign his purpose. Once he emerges from this period of solitude, it's not as a man who has simply healed, but as one who has transformed. He returns stronger, more focused, and better prepared to tackle the challenges ahead. His sense of independence is fortified, and his self-awareness is sharper. People may notice the change in him, a quiet, impenetrable confidence that wasn't there before. This period of withdrawal wasn't about hiding from the world, but about mastering it on his own terms, leading him to a place of undeniable power and control. Number 7. The all-or-nothing decision-making. A Sigma male, when pushed to his limit, can adopt an all-or-nothing mindset, completely abandoning his usual careful decision-making process in favor of drastic, life-altering actions. No longer willing to entertain the middle ground, he makes bold choices that might seem extreme to others, but to him, they're the only logical next steps. He doesn't hesitate. Once he's reached a conclusion, there's no turning back. Whether it's quitting a job, severing ties with toxic relationships, or making a complete life change, the Sigma's decisions are driven by an urgent need for authenticity and freedom. The middle ground no longer holds any appeal for him, as he realizes that anything less than full commitment to his own needs and vision will only keep him trapped. These decisive actions can be shocking to those around him, but to the Sigma, they represent a necessary shedding of what no longer serves him. There's no regret, no second guessing, just a relentless pursuit of his own path. This mindset marks a dramatic turning point, where the Sigma male moves forward without looking back, leaving behind anything or anyone that doesn't align with his true purpose. Number 8. The shift from passive to provocative. When a Sigma male reaches his breaking point, his typically passive, observant nature can shift into a more assertive and provocative stance. Where he would usually remain quiet, avoiding unnecessary confrontation, he now becomes bolder, challenging the actions of others with directness and confidence. This shift isn't driven by anger. It's rooted in his commitment to integrity and authenticity. He can no longer tolerate hypocrisy or shallow thinking, and he won't hesitate to call it out. If he notices flaws in the behavior of those around him, or sees that people are blindly following the crowd, he speaks up, unfiltered and unapologetic. This change in him surprises many, as it marks a departure from the quiet observer to the vocal challenger, unafraid to disrupt the status quo. His new assertiveness isn't about seeking attention, it's a commitment to stand up for what's right, no matter the opposition. In this phase, the Sigma male becomes a force to be reckoned with, demanding respect and making waves in his environment, inspiring others to think critically and question the world around them. Number 9. The focus on long-term vision. At his breaking point, a Sigma male shifts from managing immediate concerns to focusing with unrelenting precision on his long-term vision. This period marks a profound change in his approach to life, as he becomes less concerned with short-term results and more determined to pursue his ultimate objective. Where once he might have entertained distractions or fleeting pleasures, now every decision is made with the singular goal of advancing his larger purpose. People and relationships that don't align with his endgame are discarded without hesitation, as he realizes that anything standing in the way of his long-term vision is irrelevant. The Sigma's commitment to his future is unwavering. He's willing to make sacrifices in the present to ensure success down the road. This shift can make him appear distant or even ruthless, but for him, it's simply a matter of strategic focus. His world becomes one of long-term planning, where everything he does is a deliberate step toward achieving his ultimate goal. As he moves forward, he sheds anything that doesn't serve his greater mission, leaving only a singular, laser-focused path ahead. Number 10. The embrace of emotional apathy. At his final breaking point, a Sigma male can enter a state of complete emotional apathy, a place where he no longer feels the weight of societal expectations, relationships, or even his past emotional investments. Everything that once stirred his empathy or engagement now feels distant and irrelevant. This emotional detachment is not born out of bitterness, but as a form of self-preservation. The Sigma male recognizes that emotional vulnerability is a liability he can no longer afford. He no longer cares about others' opinions or judgments. Their drama, criticisms, and emotional manipulation no longer reach him. In this state, the Sigma becomes impervious to guilt, pressure, or any external influence. He has learned to trust only himself, and the external world has lost its ability to disrupt his peace. This emotional detachment gives him a profound strength, one that allows him to navigate life with unmatched clarity and resilience. He's no longer swayed by the needs or expectations of others. He's fully self-reliant, moving through the world on his own terms. This apathy serves as both a shield and a testament to the Sigma male's ultimate emotional evolution. Number 11. The relentless self-examination. At his breaking point, a Sigma male may engage in an almost obsessive form of self-examination. This isn't merely about introspection. This is a deep, unwavering interrogation of his very essence. Every action, every decision, every belief is scrutinized for authenticity and alignment with his true self. The Sigma becomes hyper-aware of any inconsistencies between who he is and who he presents to the world. It's a relentless search for clarity as he seeks to purge himself of anything false or inauthentic. This process is painful, but necessary, as the Sigma seeks to uncover his deepest motivations and reaffirm his commitment to his own values. There's no room for self-deception in this phase. Every flaw, every contradiction is addressed with brutal honesty. The end result is not necessarily a sense of completion, but a deeper understanding of self as self that is now even more firmly anchored in its core principles. This period of self-examination strengthens his sense of autonomy, allowing him to emerge more self-aware, confident, and aligned with his true purpose. Number 12. The withdrawal of trust. Once a Sigma male reaches his breaking point, he may find it impossible to place trust in others. Where once he may have extended trust cautiously but openly, now he withdraws completely, closing off the emotional and psychological access of others. This isn't a sudden mistrust, it's a gradual realization that trust is a rare and precious commodity, one that has been violated too often or placed in the wrong hands. For the Sigma, trust becomes something he offers only to the few who have earned it, and even then, it's given sparingly. He no longer seeks validation or comfort from others, and any request for emotional intimacy is met with a level of detachment. His relationships are redefined by self-reliance and independence. This withdrawal isn't about bitterness or resentment, it's a strategic choice. By withholding trust, the Sigma not only protects himself from potential harm, but he also reinforces his own strength and sense of security. In this state, the Sigma is fully capable of navigating the world alone, knowing that his own judgment and inner resources are all he truly needs. Thank you for your attention. You can now become a member of the channel by clicking the join button under this video.